So much editing work to get done. Don't you ever just wish you could clone yourself? Ah! Hey man! Are you my clone? I'm your clone? No, stupid, I'm you from the future. I've come here to help you get your editing projects done. Oh, well that was actually really nice of you. I could use a lot of help here. Guys, I'm from the future. We need to stop this right now. Johnny being this productive triggers a chain of events that leads to the end of humanity as we know it. We need to return to our respective timelines right now. Ugh, fine. All right, pass Johnny, you're on your own. Good luck. Thanks. Alrighty. That was weird. Alright, so anyway, I wanted to show you how you can clone yourself in FilmoraPro. Hey guys, welcome to FilmoraPro. My name is Johnny, and today I wanted to show you some cool stuff you could do with teleporting and cloning. So first I wanted to show you how we shot our skit from beginning to end. After that, we'll go into how to mask multiple copies of yourself, and finally we'll show you how we pulled off this really cool teleporting effect. Strap yourselves in, because this is going to be a big one. So here's what you'll need to get started. First off, you'll need a tripod. It's important to put your camera down and not move it for this effect to work. Next up, you'll need a camera with manual settings. Most cameras give you this option if you dig deep enough. If you're shooting on a phone, I highly recommend you check out an app called FilmoraPro. This will give you the option to take full manual control over your phone's video settings. Third of all, you'll need a flip out screen or someone to take a look at the camera to make sure you're in frame and in focus. And finally, you'll want to update to the latest version of FilmoraPro to get access to all the masking features we're going to use in this video. So with all that in mind, let's go into how you'll want to shoot this scene. It's my power armor. Makes me strong against the future. First, you'll want to place the camera on a tripod and leave it recording. If you have the option, I highly recommend you turn off autofocus and you manually expose and white balance your shots. Once you start recording, proceed to act out the scene in a specific location of your choosing. Without stopping the recording, move to your next location for your clone and start acting as your clone. Try to make sure you're far enough away from your previous spot, otherwise you might be overlapping and then you gotta deal with rotoscoping and yuck. Trust me, you don't want to deal with that. If you're doing some complex dialogue, it really helps to have somebody behind the camera reading your lines. This will help you keep your timing more consistent between your shots. Repeat this process until you're happy with the amount of clones you've created, and congratulations, you've just completed step 1. Or have you? We actually did one more thing. Do you remember that part where my character from the future teleports away? We had the chair wobbling there. How did we pull this off? When I finished acting out that character, I jumped to the right, and then from off frame, I pushed the seat over. We kept the camera rolling the entire time so that we could get that tail end of the seat moving. This will give us more options when we're compositing our effects in post. Speaking of post-production, let's drop this into FilmoraPro and start cloning. The first thing we'll do is import our shots into FilmoraPro. Once we have our clips, let's find the parts of the shot where I'm acting out each character. I've isolated these into 3 separate clips in this video. I'm going to set my video track size to small so that I can see all of them for the next few steps. Next, let's layer one of our clips on top of another. Let's select the clip on top and click and hold on the rectangle mask tool icon at the bottom of the viewer. Next, we'll want to select freehand mask. Let's draw a rough area around our subject, leaving plenty of room for him to move around. Now you should see 2 people. In the controls panel, we can adjust the feathering of our mask to help the clip blend in a little bit better with the shot below. If you have another clone, you can repeat the process by dragging another clip on top of your other 2 clips and freehand masking around that clone. Getting back to our main shot, we can top this off by adding a shake effect to one of our clips. Dialing in the amount of shake we want, copying the effect, and pasting it on our other clips. This effect works best if all of your clips all start at the same time. If not, you may need to use the slice tool to create a virtual cut where each shot starts, so that each clip can shake in sync with each other. Now we'll have a subtle handheld look added to our composition, which adds another layer of believability. Alright, so that's how I pulled off this cloning effect in FilmoraPro. But how did I pull off the teleportation at the start and the end? Let me show you how. Generally speaking, you'll need two things to pull off a teleportation effect. You'll need a shot with your character in it, and an identical shot without your character in the frame. In my example, my background will be the clip on the bottom track with present day me sitting in it, and the people I'm teleporting will be the two clones I've masked in. Let's focus on my clone on the left. Right now, the guy on the left simply appears out of nowhere. This is boring, but let's make this a more convincing teleportation effect. Under clip properties, let's check the motion blur box, which will be important later on for our effect. Next, we'll want to figure out where we have our characters zoom in from. In this skit, my characters travel through time using these bulky watches. Fun fact, they're actually just headband flashlights, which we used in a past video. Guys, I'm from the future.
Oh no!
So I've decided that I want the teleportation effect to center around our watch. Right now, if we open the transform heading and adjust the scale, our characters will scale from the center of the clip. So to scale our character from the watch, we'll need to change the anchor point. Let's go to our anchor point value and change it so that the watch falls right under the dot in the center of the clip. Make sure you have the selection tool toggled so you can see this dot. Next, let's copy the anchor point values and paste them into our position values. Now when we adjust the scale for our character, he'll scale right from the watch. Now, we don't want to scale this entire section of the clip. We only want to scale our character. This will require some more masking. Alright, so this is where things get a little more complicated, and I want to make sure that you guys understand what's going on here. If you're teleporting a clone of yourself, like I'm doing in this example, you should already have a mask on your clip. In that case, you can skip this next step or skip to the time code right here. However, if you're only doing a teleportation effect and you're not really into this clone business, I get you, but I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to select the rectangle mask tool and drag it across your entire clip so that it covers everything. If you forget to do this, the rest of the tutorial is not going to work out for you, so please remember to do this. Alright, let's move on. So at this point, if you open the masks heading, you should already have a mask on your clip. For this next step, we're going to create a new mask. Let's scrub to where our character is about to appear or disappear. This will probably be the first frame of your clip, or the last one. Next, with the freehand mask tool, let's draw a new mask around our subject. Let's name this mask Teleport Mask to avoid confusion. We'll invert it by clicking this icon here, and we'll set the blend mode to subtract. Under shape, let's set the mask feather strength to 20 and the mask expansion to -20 to help it blend in better. Under our mask's transform, let's drag the opacity to 0. Now it's finally time to animate the scale of our clip. Let's click this icon up here to display the timeline if we haven't already. So on our top clip, we're going to animate two parameters. We're going to animate the scale of our clip, and we're going to animate the opacity of this mask. So with us on the frame where we want to teleport in or out, let's click the circles beside our clip's scale and our mask's opacity to enable keyframing. If you're teleporting your character into the scene, you'll want to extend the start of your clip 3 frames backwards in the timeline. Next, in the controls panel, move back 1 frame and take your mask opacity and set it to 100. Go back 2 more frames to where your clip now starts and set the scale to 0. Now when you play it back, you should see your character scaling up from nowhere. Now if you're teleporting your character away, you'll want to extend the end of your clip 3 frames forward on the timeline. Next, in the controls panel, move 1 frame forward and change your mask's opacity from 0 to 100. Go forward 2 more frames to where your clip now ends and set your scale to 0. Now when you play it back, you should see your character shrinking out of existence. There we go. So we could stop here, but we could also add a few finishing touches to make this effect a little more believable. Remember when I got that extra part where we pushed the seat? Let's add that into the shot where my character teleports away. Before we begin, let's take our character clip and move it up 1 track. To make this look more believable, let's grab the part of our clip where I pushed the chair. I'll set my in and out points with the I and O keys, right about there. Since I don't need the audio from this part, I'll just drag from this area called Use Video and line up the clip on our timeline. There we go. Finally, since this part of the clip is supposed to be masked above our center character, let's go to our top clip, copy the first mask, not the teleport one, and paste it on our new clip. There we go. A key takeaway from this is that combining visual effects with practical techniques is a great way for grounding your shots in reality. Speaking of reality, let's warp it a bit. In my skit, I added a bulge effect to the background layer, just like this. Oh yes, that looks great. I can give myself a big brain there. Anyway, I placed it where my character teleports in, right about there. Then I set the radius to about 680 and set the bulge itself to -1. Next, I clicked on the circle beside bulge to enable keyframing, and set a keyframe 2 frames before and after, both to 0. Next, I highlighted all my keyframes and shifted them around left and right to find where the effect looked best with my teleportation effect. There we go. Finally, I'll go to wrap and set it to reflect, so that I'm not accidentally pulling the side of the frame in on the left. Finally, let's top that off with some flare. Let's go to our media panel and create a new plane. We'll name it Flare and click on this box to make it transparent. Next, let's drag it to the track above the rest of our clips. Let's add a light flares effect onto this clip, and set the clip's blend mode to screen. For my flare, I'm going to choose Anamorphic Spiked, and crank up the scale. Let's drag it over to where my character is appearing. Next, I'm going to bring down the intensity to about 0.7. Let's find a frame where my character is in the middle of teleporting, and I'll set a keyframe on intensity. Let's go a few frames back and forward to 0 our intensity, and there we go. And last but not least, there's sound effects. What's a teleportation effect without some good sci-fi sound? I used a couple sound clips from film stocks. I combined both of those sound effects into a new one by doing a short crossfade between them, and keyframing the audio volume by holding the Command or Control key and dragging over the waveform. Let's take a listen. Ah! Hey man! So that's how you can clone and teleport yourself in Filmora Pro. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. We'll have new Filmora Pro videos every other Thursday, so I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. In the meantime, I've got an appointment with my future self.